Well, I appreciate the fact that you've been so badly burned by your experiences as a youth in the church that you don't even like to hear the word God anymore. You're not the first person who said that to me over the years. A lot of people get really burned by fundamentalism and don't realize that there's so many alternatives available to them in more progressive venues for Christianity. Let me tell you the story of a friend of mine. It's been some years since this happened, but a group of us back about year 2000, 2001, a bunch of retired professors mostly, decided to study the Bhagavad Gita together and read it together and discuss it together. And among them was Ms. Kelly, who was a retired professor of Renaissance literature from the University of Kansas. And we spent about 2 years studying the book, and then we summed it all up at the end by getting ourselves invited to the new Hindu temple here, where the Sri was going to give us a short lecture on the Gita, and also permit us to participate in a worship ceremony in the temple. And before that, we all went out to dinner at an Indian restaurant and had a feast, and then we went over to talk to the Sri, and the service was wonderful. It was kind of like a mass. I remember him saying to us, because we were all lined up watching, I remember him looking over at us saying, "Oh my goodness, you're looking at us like you think this is closed communion. This is, oh, you're believing in God. Just get in line." And we all did, and communion was some kind of fruit juice and nuts, and some gestures. Well, later when we were talking to him, he was talking to us about how much God is loving everyone, and that Hinduism is not really got a lot of gods. It only has one God like everybody else, but many manifestations of the same God. And how that's also true in your Christian church, because you have Jesus is the shepherd, but he's also the lamb. And Kelly raised her hand and said, you Hindus have lots of words for God. Can't you use some word besides God? Because it just, it always angers me just to hear the word. I'm just not a person of faith. And he said, well, how about the big maybe? And she said, well, if that's not offensive to you. He said, well, it's up to the big maybe. It doesn't bother me what we call him. He said, well, it doesn't matter to me because I'm just not a person of faith. He said, oh, really? Well, he said, could you be saying you believe in what is? And she said, well, what do you mean, what is? He said, well, you know what is. The universe, DNA, Walmart. Do you believe in what is? And she said, well, of course I do. He said, well, then could you be saying you're the product of what is? And she said, well, yes, I of course I'm the product of what is. And could you be saying you're having a pretty good time? And she said, well, yes, I am having a pretty good time. Well, there you go. The only difference between you and me is that once a month or once a week I slow down. I say, hey, big maybe. I'm having a great time. Thanks a lot. Well, it changed everything for her. That did, because she was the product of what is. Whatever you want to say, whatever it is, the universe, God, the process of evolution, whatever it is, she was the product of it, as we all are. And she was grateful that she'd had a wonderful life experience so far. And she became a person who could go into gratitude and kind of actually be in awe at this incredible divine animating principle or God or universe that allowed her to have consciousness and experience. And it changed the way she looked at everything. She no longer had to be, the daughter of a Southern Baptist minister. She continued as a Unitarian, but after that called herself an agnostic in awe. And I thought that was, a real conversion of the heart. It's amazing how things like that change attitudes, and maybe her story will help you change yours.